Welcome to Dining with Tara. Today I am doing something I have never done before. I am live on the show broadcasting to who knows where, and to celebrate, I'm drinking. This is not wine, friends. This is kombucha, delicious kombucha. So cheers. Okay, today we are making these delicious blueberry bars. These are allergen friendly, Elimination Diet friendly. They're delicious, so don't make that they are healthy a deterrent. I promise you, they are as delicious as they look. So let's get started. I have all of these ingredients listed below. And if you are here, I would love, if you're watching live, I would love to say hello to you. So put it in the chat. I'm going to pull it up over here. Perfect. I have it up. Let me know, where are you listening from, or rather watching from? Do we already know each other? Are we new friends? I would love to hear. So I'm also here by myself doing this. So we'll see how it goes. So the first thing that we're going to do is get the base of this ready. So I have my, we have somebody from, let me pop this up. Again, bear with me, friends. I've never done this before. AZDH85224 says, hello from Arizona. Hello, my friend. I'm very glad you're here. Let's see. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our cashews and pecans. You can use any nuts or even seeds that you like. If it's the elimination diet that you're on, just don't use peanuts. And we're going to add them to our food processor. Don't mind the noise, friends. I'm going to pulse this until it resembles like crumbs. And if somebody would let me know if you can hear me okay, I probably should have asked that first. Mary Ann, oh, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm sorry. Rekinovich is from Alberta, Canada. Hello, friend. Nice to see you. Again, let me know if you can hear me okay. So we're looking to resemble like crumbs. I can't fast forward through this part because we're live. This looks just about perfect. Thank you. AZ, I don't know your name, but AZDH85224 said, I sound great. Thank you, my friend. So we're really, and I washed my hands right before I started. We're looking for like this texture. So just like crumbs, okay? When we get to that point, this is gonna go super fast. We're gonna just add all the ingredients in. So I'm using Monkfruit, which is a granulated sweetener. Alternatively, you can use any granulated sweetener that you like, and also a pinch of sea salt. So we're going to put that in. Then we're going to add in, this is pecan milk. Yes, I made pecan milk and it is delicious. Use any kind of non-dairy milk that you have. Alternatively, because it's such a small amount, you could even use water if you need it. Put that in. I have the juice of 1 lemon, and I have the zest set aside for the blueberry. So we're going to pour that in. Look at all this almond flour. We're going to town with the almond flour. So I'm just going to pour that in. Again, all of the measurements are listed below. And then coconut oil. I did not melt it first. I don't really think it would matter, but you don't have to waste your time melting it. Okay, now that we have everything in, I'm going to give it another pulse. This is going to come together like super fast. And actually, while I'm doing this, we should start by preheating our oven. So I'm going to just pop right over here and open mine and just get that preheating. It'll heat up really fast. Oh, it's looking really good. You might have to scrape it down. Handy spatula. I love making like a crumb like this, like a base, because it's easy, it's fast, and it tastes really good. Okay, you see this whipping along perfectly. Okay. We want to be able to squeeze it together and it sticks. If it's crumbly still, you might need to add a little bit more liquid because, of course, every lemon gives out a different amount. So you might have to play it a little bit by ear. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, so now I am going to set our delicious blueberries over here. I have my pan. This is a 9 square pan. I have put some parchment paper inside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're just going to put it straight inside of the pan. A really important thing to remember is to reserve some of this delicious topping, or delicious crumb rather, for the topping. Set this over here. So anywhere between like a half and 3/4 of a cup. Trust me, you're going to want enough of this because it's delicious. So I have a 1 cup, so I'm not going to fill it all the way up, but you want to make sure that you have enough because it just makes like the most delicious topping. Okay, so is anybody today cooking with me? If you are making this alongside me, I would love to know. So let's see if I can get this. You probably won't be able to see it over here either. This is the issue when you're just you prepping something in the kitchen. If I had like a helper, like a sous chef, they could go over and move the camera and show you what I'm doing. But essentially, I am just patting this down. And it does not have to be perfect. You could use your hands also, but then it gets like sticks to your hands. And I'm trying to keep my hands somewhat clean. So if I knew any good jokes, I'd tell you a joke. Who here is excited that it's Friday? I am. Who here went in the woods today because it's Friday the 13th? I did. I actually shot a reel today that was, there was a guy from the DNR that was looking at me like, what is this woman doing? Because I was running with my phone and then I like tripped. Of course, I did it on purpose, pretending like I was being chased like in a horror movie. I don't know. It was fun. Okay. So we're looking for something about like this. Okay. And then again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then we're going to just pop this into our preheated oven. I say it's close enough. Do you wait for the oven to beep before you put yours in? I'm a risk taker, friends. Sometimes I just put it in and it's not even ready. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Now we're going to get to work on the blueberry mixture, and this is super easy. So we have a pot. We are going to add our blueberries. Alternatively, use any kind of fruit that you like. I use frozen because I find that it actually gets, the texture is better with the frozen, but you could try fresh. And if you do fresh, let me know, like, how does it turn out? Then we're going to add in, if this is also our monk fruit and pinch of salt, but a little bit more monk fruit this time. So we're going to add that in. We are going to add the zest of that lemon and a little bit of filtered water. Then we're going to put this, it's ready. The temperature is ready. See, it was only like what, 20 seconds? Risk taker. So now we're going to just like over medium heat. I'll grab one of these handy dandy thingamajiggers. Okay, while we're waiting for that, here I have Arrowroot. This is a thickener. Alternatively, you could use tapioca. You could also use cornstarch, but if you are doing the elimination diet, don't use cornstarch. But tapioca works also. Alternatively, like, do you have to use this? Not necessarily. Like, it'll just be thinner. I feel like the texture is better to use it, but you want to use equal parts of the tapioca, or rather arrowroot, and filtered water. Oh, not this spoon. Let me grab another spoon. And you just want to do this now so it gets out any lumps. Have you ever made like fettuccine Alfredo, like an Alfredo sauce, or like something that you need to thicken? I actually need a little bit more water. I might have spilled some. It happens. Okay, we're just getting this ready so that it's ready, right? Okay, so you can see, you might not be able to see, you might have to imagine what it looks like here, but it's just no clumps. That's important. This is starting to warm up. I wish I could bring you over here with me, but again, no sous chef. Anybody wants to volunteer and you're anywhere in the area, it'd be awesome. And speaking of which, Arizona. So AZDH85224, I'm going to Arizona, or I'm coming to Arizona Tuesday. I will be in Scottsdale and then in Sedona. What part of Arizona are you in? I would love to know. Also going to clean some of this up, or at least get it out of my way, and also wash my hands again. Very important to wash our hands. I know that baking is something a lot of people tell me is somewhat of a struggle. Like either you don't like baking, maybe you don't feel like you're good at baking. What I love about baking like this is it is, if I say it's foolproof, it pretty much is, because there's no gluten in this recipe. And oftentimes we can see an issue with when we're baking something, if it's not exactly precise, or even like the temperature, the altitude that we're in can impact the way that the dish comes out. But when you're not using gluten, typically you don't have the same issue. So then we're going more for like the consistency, like the texture of it. So for these blueberries, I'm really just, yeah, I really could use a second camera, couldn't I? We're just cooking them down. So that's not done yet. Let's see, Chandler. Make sure you take the pink Jeep tour in Sedona. That sounds fun. I will say, now that we're friends, oh, yes. And I would love to know, AZDH85224, what is your name? That way I can call you by your name. My husband just walked in the door. He's like, what did I just walk into? Come say hi.
Hi.
This is Tom. He likes to eat. He doesn't, well, he cooks too, but he prefers just to eat. I'm drinking some kombucha. Yeah. He's thinking it's actually red wine. It's not today. And so we're mountain bikers. So in Sedona, we're going to be going to all of like the mountain bike trails. So are you a Jeep? What is it called? A Jeep? A Jeeper. Are you a Jeeper? I've seen the Jeeps out there, and it's like, oh my goodness, it looks amazing. I don't know if like we could make friends. How far away from Sedona are you? Just wondering. If you're close, maybe we could be friends. So this is actually like boiling. So I'm just pulling it off. And I'm going to just like, I'm just really smashing these blueberries down a little bit. You can leave them whole. You don't have to smash them down, but I am just because I feel like it. And I'm the chef in this kitchen today, and I can do what I want. Okay. Alexa, how many minutes are left on my timer? I also think it's pretty awesome that we're doing this in real time today so that you could see how incredibly easy and fast this is. So, like, the magic of editing can make things look so simple. And then you're doing it and you're like, oh, it took me 4 hours to make this. So, here we're on a time crunch. Okay, I did have everything set up, but I don't think I saved that much time by setting it up. I did zest that lemon. That was probably a good 25 seconds. This girl is ready for the weekend, that's for sure. Okay, so now that we've got, again, you're like, I still can't see it. Now I'm going to put our slurry in, okay? Pour it right in there. It's important once you add that in that you keep it on the heat because the heat is what is actually going to help it to thicken. And so it works, it happens really fast. Would you like one? I know you do. Hopefully you're making this. You're making it with me. Okay. What we're looking for is, see how it's almost like a jam? And actually, if you want to take an even easier route, you could use store-bought jam or jelly even. Like if you go somewhere and you find one that you really love it, you could use that also. But this is just it's so easy. And I like controlling the ingredients. So that's perfect. We don't need to heat this up anymore. So now we wait. See how fast? Anybody new in here? I would love to know I see we've got quite a few people in here. What's your name? Where are you from? I'm not asking in a creepy way. Just in a way, because we've got some time, right? The hike at the Bell Rock is nice. I am going to add that to my list because I love hiking. And I've actually been to Sedona once and it was really fun, but it was like 9 years ago, I believe. And that seems like a lifetime ago. And I don't really remember very much of it. Okay, we're getting ready. And I'm hungry. I couldn't eat these because I was waiting. I wanted to show you what they look like. Because the thing about this recipe is that you don't want to cut into them until it's completely cooled. So I'm not going to be able to cut them and give you that money shot. You'll have to use what I made yesterday in preparation for this. Who else is very impatient? Alexa, turn off the timer. At this point, it should be a beautiful golden brown. And now, very simply, we're going to take this mixture and we're going to pour it right on top. It really does not get any easier than this. If you would like yours to be a little bit sweeter, alternatively, you could use a little bit of coconut sugar in the base. It'll give it more of like that rich kind of like caramelized flavor. I've done that and I like that, but I feel like for me, this is sweet enough. So you can play around with it and you can taste I always kind of taste the batter because it's okay to do that with things like this, but you can just taste it and ensure that you like how it tastes. Okay. Looks beautiful. Now we are going to take this crumb topping, and I told you, you definitely want to save some. So very simply, you're just going to take it and crumble it on top. I've got a recipe on this channel for crumb cake. Okay, the crumb cake is not necessarily allergen friendly. It's made with gluten, so I can't eat it anymore. But if you can eat gluten, you want that crumb cake. You want to go get that recipe on my channel and make it, because it rivals the bakeries in Brooklyn, which is where I'm from. Actually, it's better. I had that for a birthday cake one year. That's how good it was. But you want extra of this. You could also add a little bit of coconut sugar to this if you want it to be sweeter. I think it's perfect just like this, but you could. And when it's done, you could do a sprinkling of confectioner's sugar. Confectioner's sugar is really easy to make yourself. You can take the monk fruit and a high-speed blender and just whip it, and that will make it like turn to confectioner's sugar. Because the monk fruit that I'm using is not white, the confectioner's sugar will be more of like this, it'll be the same color, but it'll have that more fluffy, not feeling, fluffy essence to it. I'm gonna wash my hands again. Oh, that looks the perfect amount of crumb, if I do say so myself. So let's see, show you what it looks like. Look at that. Looks good, friends. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. It's going to be 10 minutes, give or take. Might be a couple minutes less, might be a couple minutes more. I look for when the topping has, it's golden. You should smell it. It should be aromatic. So what are some alternatives for like a topping that you could use? I know I've had several people ask me about this, and if you can do oats, if we're worried about allergies or concerned about allergies, make sure that you get gluten-free oats, because they're not necessarily gluten-free, even though we think of oats as being gluten-free. I like to do like mix some oats in there also, because it makes it almost like a cobbler or like a crisp. So you could add a half of a cup of rolled oats to that mixture and just mix it together, and that's like delicious. You don't even necessarily need any extra anything else in there. But if you felt like it was too dry, like you kind of, with this kind of cooking, I feel like a lot of it is by feel. So like my husband laughs at me because he said, when I cook with my nose. Like I'm like, and I'm seeing like, what does it smell like? And I can tell, like, does it need something just based on that? Anybody else out there weird like me? No? Oh well. Let's see. Go on my channel. I'm gonna put this, okay. So AZDH85224 says, go to my channel and look for Jeep Tour World Explained. Listen to it carefully. I recorded this on the pink Jeep tour. What is your channel? We would love to know. If you pop it in there, I will put it on the screen. We still have others in here. I would love to know, like, where are you from? Are you going to make this recipe? What are your plans for this weekend? For me, I actually have to work this weekend. I feel like I work a lot, but that's because, again, we're getting ready to go on this amazing adventure. Cheers. Who swirls their kombucha just like this? I didn't make this one. This is a kombucha without added sugar, but I have made kombucha before. I actually have the big glasses for it, and I have the SCOBY, the weird hockey puck of bacteria. I just haven't had a chance to get it started. But homemade kombucha is by far the best. And the reason I love kombucha so much is because of the live, like the bacteria that's in here is very beneficial to the gut. And I happen to love the way that it tastes. When I used to make it here and I had them all over the counter, my husband, if he came home while I was making it, he literally was like, "Oh, what is that smell?" Because he said it smelled like, oh, no, no, it's not done. But I set my air fryer convection oven. Well, it was set to a certain amount of minutes. We're good. I caught it just in the nick of time. Everything's going to be just fine. But yeah, he came home and was like turned around and left. That's how like serious of like an odor to him it was. But I happen to really love it. Who's with me on team fermented things? Mm-mm-mm. So in the description box of the video, I have the recipe so that you can print it out. If you're wondering about like, I don't count calories. I don't. But if you're wondering about that, there's about 24 servings. Well, depending on how big you cut them. So if you cut them this size, I feel like this is perfect. And when I ate these today, I had two of them like after lunch and it was delicious. So that's two servings then if you eat two of them. But it's about 125 calories, 4 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat, but it's the healthy fats, 6 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of fiber. I don't worry about calories and macros like that. I care more about how does it taste and nutrients. That's more important to me. Malizia, hello. Favorite cousin here. Hello. I'm so glad you were able to join us. And are you making these blueberry bars? You better, because they're delicious. Let's see. I think for my first time going live, it's going wonderfully. And next time what I'll do is I'll ask on Facebook and on Instagram, like what questions you might have. And while we're cooking, depending on what we're making, we can do like a Q&A at the same time. If you think that that's a great idea, give this girl a big thumbs up because again, I'm totally out of my comfort zone with this right now. I am a scripted girl, not a off the cuff. So I'm beginning to wish this was a dry red right now. Alexa, how many minutes on my timer? Only 3 minutes left. For those of you that are holding on with me, if I had gold stars to give out, you would get one. Or like a pink star from my friend in Arizona. I personally like pink. I love pink. And purple, or a purple star. That's what I would give out. I'm going to check this and make sure it's not burning because right now I can smell the aroma and it smells delicious. Ooh, it's almost ready. I think for this batch, I am going to put confectioner's sugar on top. That just sounds like amazing. I've got a funny story to tell you. When I used to work at the hospital, this was years ago, I used to carry a bag of powdered sugar in my purse. So I don't ask, well, okay, the reason was you never know who might be bringing, that's when I was a floor nurse, bringing us nurses treats. For some reason, when you work in healthcare, everybody wants to give you donuts and pastries and everything else. Well, they would give us the pastries, but I would get these like crumb buns without the powdered sugar on it. And I was like, I can't eat this. where's the pounded sugar? So I had a Ziploc bag, and I had, back then, I was just using confectioner sugar, just cane sugar, like powdered sugar, the regular stuff. And you see me pull that out of my bag, you would not believe the looks that I got, because they're like, what's in your bag? This white powdery substance. And I'm over there in my locker secretly grabbing it, and I'd hold it up and say, do you see how much is in this bag? I would be like on a yacht somewhere if it was what they were thinking. But yes, that's that's quite a while ago. But yeah, I can see adding a little bit to the top of this, like a with a sifter, just to make it really pretty and give it that like feel. If you've never used monk fruit, in my opinion, it's like tastes the most like regular sugar, and you use it 1-to-1 in a recipe. So I love that. It's almost done. Oh, thank you. Somebody gave me a heart. And in my mind, it's a pink heart. So I'm going to just believe that, since I already told you I love pink hearts. We're almost there, my friends. Are you ready to see these delicious blueberry bars? I am. I have these, and I also have more in my freezer. When you make these, cool them completely, store them flat in the freezer, and then once they're frozen, you can put them in a bag or together. You definitely don't want to store these in the refrigerator because they will dry out. When you store these in the freezer and you take one out, like take it out and just put it on the counter and just let it thaw, I promise you, it will be almost like you just made it. That's another reason why I love baking like this, because you're not like missing out on anything by storing it away. Alexa, turn off my timer. The conveniences of modern day. Oh boy. Now this looks amazing. Friends, you are definitely going to want to make this. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. I think this batch might even be better because I had less crumb on the other ones. If you enjoyed today's super easy recipe, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up, share it with anyone that you know that loves delicious treats but is looking for healthier alternatives, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.